Welcome back, everybody, to We Talk Film. I'm your host, Barry, joined by Clayton, as always. How you doing, Clayton?
Hey, Barry. I'm doing good. Tonight is a stacked episode, so I'm pretty excited.
Full of things. We're full of things. Full of talking about stuff
too
today.
many things.
Yeah.
I know how we mentioned that we're going to try and do one big thing a week, and then we had both of these come out, so we're like, shit,
we've got to last long.
We've got to talk about these. Like, both of these could be a separate episode.
Yeah.
But we just really wanted to talk about it, and we're behind schedule again, as always.
So you get double the stuff in one video. Look at that, audience.
Yeah. Be excited. So we're bringing you Mickey-17 and today in season 3.
Yep.
But before we get into those topics, Barry, there's some news, as always.
News!
Okay, first thing I'd like to bring up this week. We got a bunch of trailers. Nothing that's really catching my eye, but I know that this one looked at least interesting to you, and that's Lilo and Stitch, the live-action film. That got a trailer. It looks fine. It looks exactly like the film that already exists, so I don't really care. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm fine with it. I dig with it type thing. At least like it's already feel like the type of comedy they've done with the original film. Obviously, I still love the original film more than whatever this is. I'll still watch it when it comes on Disney Plus. I don't plan going to see it at the cinemas. It would be a bit weird, but I'll watch it on Disney Plus. Okay,
that's fair. What about Freakier Friday? Are you a fan of the series?
No.
Really? But they switch bodies.
Wow, such an amazing concept.
They
do another face-off. It should have been like face-off. They rip each other's faces off.
Freakier face-off. It would be an insane movie. I want that. Where's that film?
I want that film.
Okay, we also got a trailer for Happy Gilmore 2.
Yep.
You a fan of that franchise?
The original, I liked.
Yeah, there's only one.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore.
I watched the trailer for this, and I was like, okay, sure.
It feels very much just a sequel for the sake of it. It's playing the hits.
Yep.
Over again. They're old, but it's exactly the same.
Like every single company at the moment is just like, let's do a franchise movie. Let's do a sequel to a 40-year-old film. It's like the Beetlejuice films. It's like Beetlejuice.
Yes, Beetlejuice did that.
Yeah.
I was thinking it reminds me of like Coming to America 2. Or like
I
Beverly
didn't
Hills
even
Cop.
watch the second one. I totally forgot about Coming to America 2.
But there's so many of those types of movies where it's all of these 80s and 90s comedies coming back with a sequel when they're old and they're all exactly the same thing.
Exactly the same. And it's just like, good for you guys. But they're somehow still going to make multi-millions of dollars.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe sometime we'll get something different. And speaking of something different, we got first looks at Mortal Kombat 2.
We did.
Showcasing Carl Urban as Johnny Cage. We got looks at Kitana, Shao Kahn, more Scorpion. Like, it looks cool. I'm still waiting for a trailer.
I'm
waiting for a trailer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my expectations are very low for this film.
Yeah.
The first one, it was okay. It was nowhere near as good as the 1995 film, which I think is a genuine masterpiece. This is never going to be doing that, but at least they're doing a tournament. And I'm sure the action's going to be fun, but I just hope the story is way better than last time around.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, it's always the story, and like depending on what they do with Carl Urban and stuff like that, I hope they kind of like make him really badass in it type thing, and also an asshole at the same time.
Yeah,
that too. But it was just like because I was watching Dread the other day, and I always forget that's Carl Urban doing that, and it's just like that's such an underrated film. Is the remake of Dread?
Good.
Yeah,
so good. I don't know how he's going to be as Johnny.
Yeah,
but like seeing the picture, I was a little bit more convinced than just hearing the casting.
Yes,
I was like, I can buy that. It looks like a very MK11 or an MKX looking Johnny.
Yeah,
very modern interpretation. It's never going to hold up to the 1995 Christopher Lambert masterpiece, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Last story this week: Disney Plus have added a new live stream channel. I don't think they've ever done this, but it's streaming
Okay.
Simpsons episodes 24/7, random Simpsons episodes just constantly, just looping forever. I don't know why.
On Disney Plus?
Yeah, on Disney Plus, there's like a new streaming thingy.
I gotta
I
look
don't
at
know if
this
it's out yet.
right now. I'm
You're
loading
gonna pull it up right now.
I'm
Okay,
pulling
well,
it up right now.
see if you can pull it up. See what episode is playing.
There's
Yeah,
nothing
no,
here.
it's coming. It's coming. Hang on, sorry, it's
Oh,
not out
okay.
yet.
Okay.
Coming to Disney Plus. All 767 episodes are streaming chronologically at first. So it'll be in order, and
Yep.
then after that it'll be random. So when they get through all of that, so in approximately 12 and a half days time after it releases, they'll reset.
Yeah.
So you get about 12 and a half days of Simpsons.
I mean, anyone wanting to watch the 1400 seasons of Simpsons, I just recommend them. Just watch from the beginning to the movie. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, and even that's pretty late. It's just first 10 seasons is really what you need to do. Great writing up until then.
Yeah.
And the movie's great. I like the movie too. Anyway, that's it for the news this week. Barry, what's our main topic today? What's happening?
So our main topic is going to be our movie, which is Mickey 17, and we have a little clip for it here today.
The simple fact is, we're in a state of war, and our survival is in the balance.
I got a job to do.
Mickey Barnes, fighting right to the end.
My great gift to mankind. Are you afraid to die? This time I wasn't scared.
So yes, that is Mickey 17. He's dying to save mankind. The storyline is adapted from the Mickey 7 book by Edward Ashton, Edward Ashton.
I don't know.
This
Go on
stars
with
as
the
Rob
information.
Pattinson as a disposable crew member on a space mission selected for dangerous tasks because his body can be reprinted if he dies, with his memories largely intact. With one generation, though, things go very wrong. And then that's our movie. And then we see all the Mickeys, and you have to watch Mickey 1 through 16 to be able to understand Mickey 17.
I said that when we were walking into the cinema. I was like, man, do we have to watch Mickey 1 and Mickey 2 and Mickey... And I went through all of them, and everyone I was with hated me for about 10 seconds.
I wasn't
was
even
hilarious.
there, and I'd hate you.
You're hating me now.
Exactly.
So yeah, this is the newest film from the critically acclaimed and also my favorite Korean director of all time, Bong Joon-ho.
Yep.
The director of such masterpiece films as Parasite, Memories of Murder,
Snowpiercer,
which is one of his biggest American films.
Yeah.
It is his biggest American film up until now. I don't know if Mickey 17's crossing it, but a whole bunch of amazing work from this guy. And then so I was very excited going into this because I love every single one of his films that I've seen. I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen the majority.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm curious what your relationship is with this director, because I know you're a big fan of Snowpiercer. Like, before we get into the film, you a Bong Joon-ho fan?
I am a Bong Joon-ho fan. I've seen majority of his films. I think this is like a few of the earlier ones I haven't seen. Like, I've seen The Host, I've seen Snowpiercer like 1,000 times. I've seen Okja, I've seen Parasite. And then I've watched, what was it, the other? There was like another one. That was like a smaller one. I forget what it was called.
Not sure. What's your favorite of his? Is it Snowpiercer?
It's Snowpiercer, yeah.
Okay.
And still,
That's fair.
watching Mickey 17 and everything like that, I still prefer Snowpiercer more. Just
I think
because,
that's
like,
valid.
the story and everything, like the acting, I think was a bit more like of a dramatic type thing, and it's my type of thing of survival a bit more with that film. But we could talk about that film forever. Well, I could anyway. But yeah, going back to Mickey 17, I still enjoyed it. Obviously, this is Robert Pattinson as the Mickey 17 and Mickey 18 and Mickey 16, 15, 14.
The rest of them, yep.
All the
of them.
Mickeys. And I really like the concept of what like this film is about. Like, it's basically this guy who signs up to be an expendable for a space mission for basically a big rich minister guy played by Mark Ruffalo in this film. And that's like another thing. Like all the other cast members of this film is such like a great supporting cast of members for this film.
Yeah.
Because you even got like Stephen Yen is in this. Oddly enough, we're going to talk on about Invincible.
Stephen Yeun.
Stephen Yeun. And like the chick that plays his like girlfriend and everything like that. Toni Collette is in it as well as Mark Ruffalo's wife. And it's just everyone does like an amazing performance, and it's just like, oh, this is quite an interesting film.
Huge stacked cast. This guy's American films tend to always have that, which is amazing to see.
Yeah.
I love that he just brings across and gets these massive actors for these kinds of films, because it blew me away a little. This is very different to everything else Robert Pattinson has done, especially coming straight off of like Batman to this. You see a little bit of Batman in the Mickey 18 character, but Mickey 17.
You did watch Lighthouse, right?
I did watch Lighthouse.
I was gonna say,
Batman was after Lighthouse. But like, you know what I mean? I'm going straight from Batman as his previous film into this sort of quirky, offbeat. The character's got like a really nerdy sort of voice to him. It's just so different, and I love that take on a leading character. And it's just cementing Robert Pattinson as one of like my favorite current working actors, which I didn't think I'd say 5 years ago. 5 years ago, if you said Robert Pattinson, I'd be like, the Twilight guy? Really?
Exactly.
And that was everyone's opinion. And then Lighthouse, Batman, Good Time. Like, there's this really amazing group of films, and Mickey 17 is now in that boat where it's just another amazing performance from this guy. So I love this.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Because like, he portrayed different versions of the same character as well throughout this film.
That's another thing.
Another thing with this film, spoilers, is that even though he's got like the memories and stuff like that, every now and again, each Mickey has like its own personality and everything like that, and that causes issues because obviously they reprint Mickey 18, who's kind of like, he's an evil version of Mickey. Like, he just wants to get into violence and like kill everyone, and he wants to kill the Mark Ruffalo's character behind it. But that's the thing. Like, I've watched quite a number of Robert Pattinson films ever since like Twilight type thing. Like, I remember when Good Time came out, I watched that and I was like, oh, this guy can actually act. And then he did like High Life, and then he did what's the other one? There's another one about like a city, the Lost City of Z and Cosmopolitus and The King and all those types of films. And it's like, oh yeah, no, this guy is definitely like phenomenal actor after watching those films. I'm still not 100% convinced on Batman. I'm still waiting for 2, even though I love that film and I've watched it multiple times and everything like that. I'm just like, I just want to see more of him being Bruce Wayne in those films. But he is definitely like, coming from the guy that was like, oh, he's the Twilight guy. He's really cemented as his own. Like, he is an actor now. He does his own thing. He knows how to perform properly. And this is one of those films again where he gets to show off his talents, playing multiple versions with this really quite unique voice that he came up with Mickey. And it was just like, at first I was like, oh, that's weird. But I'm just like, that is so good to like see a character like that, like just really awkward in every situation.
Oh, totally. Okay, so let's talk about the movie itself, because this opens up at the end of the second act, I'd say, and then it flashes back and tells you everything that happened through Mickey's narration. So it opens with him dying, or what you think is him dying, and then it goes back and it's how did I get here moment. I'm a sucker for that in stories. I know that that's been overdone in just about everything ever, but it was quirky enough that I vibed with the whole narrated element, building everything up. The majority of this movie is set on a spaceship, traveling across the universe. You don't see Earth really. There's like one scene on Earth with him and Stephen Yeun messing up the mafia guys,
and when he signs up and everything like that.
Not really. You don't see a lot of outside on Earth, so you don't
There's
quite know. But Earth's gone to shit. So they all get on this spaceship, run by this weird culty mega church corporation.
Kenneth Marshall.
Yeah, led by Mark Ruffalo, who's very clearly doing a Trump impression. As him and his weirdo wife take thousands of civilians across to a new planet in order to colonize it. and start a new civilization, I guess. Completely away from Earth, not abiding by any of their laws, just kind of doing their own thing. So Mickey joins up. He comes along as an expendable, which means that he dies, and they 3D print his body back.
Yep.
And most of the time, it's okay. Sometimes his memory is a little funky. Sometimes he's a different personality.
Sometimes he only lives for like 15 minutes.
Sometimes he lives for like 15 minutes, which it was amazing. That was my favorite part of this movie, is the first half, where it's just him dying, going through all sorts of wacky shit, him dying again. They test something on him, and they're like, "Oh, hey, Mickey, how you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm okay. I'm outside the spaceship." And they're like, "Okay, cool. You're gonna die. Bye." And he's like, "What? Okay."
Yep.
And he's just so chill with it because he gets so used to dying. And I love that. This weird, offbeat, quirky character. Just the whole like setup and premise of this reminded me of stuff like, I don't know, like a Portal. It felt very much like one of those dystopian video gamey sort of worlds.
Yeah.
It's like some evil corporation doing quirky experiments on people, and they die and they respawn essentially over and over and over.
I'm pretty sure there actually is a game very similar to this, where the whole thing is like you have to die to be able to, like, it was kind of like Hades in a way. Like you die, but then you know how to play the game properly and stuff like that. But
Returnal is the sci-fi one that I was thinking of on the PlayStation. It's a sci-fi, and you fight like aliens, and then you die and you learn new shit, and then you keep doing that. Yeah. It's a similar sort of idea. It's always fun because the characters themselves have a lot of fun with it. You can kill off your main character 20 times before the movie starts, and you can do it in
the most stupidest way possible. And I love every single second. And that is literally, for me, the best part about this film is all that side to it. That is like my number one thing in this film, where I'm just like, this is perfect. This is what they should have done more of for the entire film.
The second half of this film, it kind of takes a little bit of a turn, because essentially when we flash back to where the movie starts, which is actually the middle of the movie, we realize that Mickey 17 is still alive, and they've reprinted him back. So there's two Mickeys at the same time, which is illegal, and they'll kill them both if they catch them. But the whole thing is that Mickey 18 is kind of the opposite of Mickey 17. He's very controlling, very Batman-y voiced, confident, does whatever he wants, as opposed to Mickey 17, who's very like shy and naive. So that dynamic kind of changes the entire movie, because then it becomes more of a political satire than a quirky sci-fi. It still has that element, but it runs with the Trumpy stuff. It runs with the like churchy stuff, and then it also kind of becomes like a Starship Troopers-y Ender's Game sort of situation thingy.
And that's where it lost me, was when all that stuff started to happen.
It didn't lose me, so to speak. It just felt like two different movies. It felt like the
I
switch
was just
up.
like, oh, this is it now. This is it, and then it just felt like it dragged on.
I think it made sense for what he was trying to do. I am not sure if it was like the best way that it could have been done. I like it. I still love this movie. I had fun the whole way through. I didn't felt like it dragged, and I'm so glad that the second half of the movie exists. But it wasn't as gripping as the first half, as the premise. The execution wasn't as quite as good as the premise, but it's close for me. I know it's not as close for you, and for a lot of people that saw this, it's nowhere near as close to them. This film's not really doing that crazy at the box office. It's making money. It had a very, very short theatrical run. I saw that people were complaining that it wasn't in cinemas for very long. If it even still is.
Whoa, okay. The budget was $120 million. It has currently only made 90, just over 90 mil.
Yeah, so it's not doing too well.
No. And that's the thing, because it is a 2-hour and 17-minute film as well, where I feel like this could have been like a simple 90-minute film.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
I won't disagree with that. I was all for having more, because I was just so in love with the world, mostly the characters in this world, that I was just in love with. This movie could have been 4 hours long of just them shit talking and giggling around while there's like 17 Mickeys running at the same time, and I would have loved it. I know that the general audience isn't going to love that, and the general audience is kind of on this.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit disappointing. Not a lot of people going to see it. Didn't have quite a long theatrical run.
Yeah, which was another thing as well.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised by. Yeah, because
the
obviously
guy
I
who did
think it's
Parasite.
the
So
25th they're already going to start releasing it on digital. And I
yeah,
was just like, oh, that's quite surprising. This only came out in cinemas 2 weeks ago.
yeah. So
Something
it's
like
like
that.
just over a month before it's coming out on digital.
Came out the
Wait.
7th of the 3rd. So yeah, 2
yeah,
weeks
yeah,
ago.
yeah. 2 weeks ago, and then it's going to come out in what, another 3 weeks? So yeah, in a
No,
month and a half
25th of this month, 25th of March.
of this. Wait, this month?
So it comes out in 5 days to digital.
What? Oh
Yes.
shit, that's way worse than I thought it was.
Yeah, that is way worse. That's why I was very confused with things about it.
Why? Oh, I wonder why.
Yeah.
That's did the companies just not plan on this making as much money as they thought it would?
Maybe it was like originally meant to go to streaming potentially.
That's so weird though. This is a big movie.
It is a big
At
movie.
least it
They
should be a
spent
big movie.
$120 million on it. But saying that though,
Yeah.
they spend quite a bit on big films now, like whatever fucking Netflix
Electric State?
Electric State.
$320 million.
God damn.
Yeah. You can make 200 paranormal activities for that budget.
You could.
I saw the maths. That blew me away. I was like, you
Well.
serious?
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, we won't talk about that Netflix film. I'm not gonna watch that.
see a
So yeah,
review on
Mickey
that,
17. No, God no. I'm trying to think what else I enjoyed about this film. It's just a weird, funny, quirky time. It was funnier than I thought it would be. How was your cinema in terms of the jokes? Because I was
there
laughing the whole way
literally
through.
only two people in our cinema. It was
Oh.
Isaiah, our friend, and then another person. And that was it.
There was only three of you guys. Maybe this is why it's not making any money. That's
Yep.
crazy. Mine. I saw it a week before you did. Mine had maybe 24 people in it,
Yeah.
and I was the only one laughing at the jokes.
Okay.
Like I felt like a little self-conscious laughing at the things because I'm like, "Huh, that's
Yeah.
funny." I'm like, "Oh, does anyone else think this is funny?" I think there was one instance where everyone laughed, and I'm like, "Oh my god,
Okay.
it's so weird." It was weird. So I don't know.
That's the thing. Yeah,
Maybe it's
because
just not resonating with people.
Yeah, well, I'm in the same boat. I think with the normal people this time, because I just thought it was just kind of like it's one of those movies where it's like, oh, it's cool to watch, and I'm glad I did watch it and everything like that. But come a month from now, I'm gonna forget it.
Wow.
If they did more, and that's it, I kind of want to read the book a bit more because I said to you when I first watched it and everything, I was like, I really like the cloning stuff and all that side to it. I thought him dying and everything that resonates so well to me because of obviously a project you and I are working on and everything like that. It's like that works out so well for us, that type of thing. And I was hoping the entire film was going to be more about that, but then though it is like, oh, we're gonna add in some political satire to it. I'm just like, another film. Seriously?
Yeah, I mean, Bong does a lot of that with all of his films. It's always got some depiction of class.
But the thing is, though, with this one, compared to Snowpiercer, it felt really forced and it felt like a different film, like what you were saying.
I agree.
Yeah.
The book does not delve into a lot of that. The book is
Yeah.
very much on the science and the ethics of cloning itself. I also want to read the book, which I love when a movie makes me want to read the book that it's based off. That rarely happens, especially with like modern sci-fis, if anything, really.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I'm definitely go check out Mickey 7 if you
Mickey
if you
7.
like reading. Yeah, I don't really know where else to go with this film. Like I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because it wrapped up like in the end as well and everything like that. They're like, no more cloning anymore. We're going to outlaw it. And then Mickey 18 ends up sacrificing himself to kill Mark Ruffalo.
That's right.
And everything like that. And it was just like...
It ends
one
how
of
you
those
think it
things-
ends.
It ends how you think it's going to end. It's one of the film. It wraps it up and everything like that. It's just kind of average. The only thing, though, I did find that was quite unique, and I did kind of like it in the latter half, even though it felt like a completely separate film, was the whole like alien thing on the planet, and you could start speaking
bug
to
guys?
them, the bug guys. And everything.
Yeah.
I was like, that's kind of cool. I like that.
They were cool. They looked cool. This movie had great CGI. There was not a
Yeah.
bad shot of CGI in this film. I loved it.
Yeah.
Whoever's
It's like
worked on this film,
half the budget of Marvel.
yeah, I was gonna say, whoever worked on this film, Disney, please go get these guys to do
Yeah.
your next Captain America or some shit.
And apparently, all that snow when they're doing a location was all salt. It wasn't actually filmed on location. It was just in a big studio. It's just salt.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No, that's cool. The more you know.
The more you know.
Okay, well, I think we can probably just go final thoughts and ratings for Mickey 17.
I like
and then
how
move on
like
to our second
IMDb
topic.
has like quotes and everything like that. Quote from Mickey Barnes: "Our entire life is a punishment." I feel you, buddy. I feel you there.
Poor Mickey.
So, final thoughts and ratings. We'll go for you because you really enjoyed it. So we'll get the big number one vote.
Yeah, I say big number, but it's a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
That's my big number.
Yep.
I loved it. Like,
Yeah.
I know that this is far from a perfect film. Looking at it critically through that lens, but I'm also like, I enjoyed it. This is very much
Yeah.
a Clayton film. It's just quirky, offbeat.
Yeah.
It just has fun. This is just a fun movie.
Well, actually, there's like a lot of films that are out currently right now that are kind of like that offbeat, quirky, like ideas of things. Because you got this one, and then you got Novocaine at the moment, and then you
That's
also
true.
have Black Bag as well at the moment, which is quite quirky. And they have the monkey as well, if you want to classify that one.
Yeah, so it feels like we're in a weird state of movies this like last couple months.
Yeah.
A lot of older sort of concepts for films. It's like, so these are some early 2000s sci-fi ideas. I like it.
Yeah. That's what it feels
Very
like.
weird. What else was I gonna say? This is probably the best movie that's come out this year that I've seen. Considering. What else have we watched? Captain America?
What else have we watched? Yeah, true. It's the
I
best
can't
film
think of
we've
anything
rated
else.
so far on the podcast.
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, so 7.5 out of 10 from me.
Okay.
What about you, Barry?
Well, yeah, I enjoyed the film, like especially the first part of it and the whole cloning process, and Robert Pattinson's performance was just like that solely alone is kind of like the reason to watch it, and also Stephen Yen as well, like to watch him play his weird little black dealing character, and just like the entire cast as well, like they all did a great job. I'm gonna give it 5. It was just the first act I really enjoyed. And then it was just in the second half when they started to add in all the political stuff, and it just felt like it kind of took me out. Like you said, it felt like 2 different films or multiple different films when all that started to happen. It was like different things going on. I feel like for me, if they cut it down to 90 minutes, I would have been probably a little bit more happier type thing, because to me it kind of did feel like it dragged on a little bit at times, especially in that later half. At the first part, the cloning and him dying and all that type of thing, I was like, I need this, I need more. And then it was like, oh, it's done. I was like, oh no, that's it. Oh no. And then we still got like an hour and a half left. Oh no. type thing. But like I'm still glad that I watched it and everything like that, but it's just like one of those films like, yeah, good film. I'll forget about it in a month.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's valid. I'm not going to argue against it. I'm sure my rating will drop over time, probably, unless I watch it again and enjoy it more somehow. But who
Just
knows?
keeps
I
getting
might get
higher every
around.
single time you watch it.
I mean, maybe it might. Who knows? Maybe I'll get around to watching it again.
20
at some
years from
point
now,
to-
it's going to be all the Star Wars prequels. They're like, these are the best films ever made.
Oh yeah, maybe. Who knows? All right. Well, that's the first half of today's episode. Barry, what are we talking about now?
Now we're going to talk about season 3. I do have a little clip for this one too.
What are you hiding in here?
The White Room is for my protection.
Protection from what?
From you, Mark.
Is that all you got? I will never work for you again. We're done.
Yeah, so that's season 3. And so, Clayton, you have to remember every time I say you have to put in the tagline every single time. Both of us saying. So you have to make
Every time
sure
I say-
to get that right. It says on there. Right? It's all about now.
Oh my god.
Yep, here we
If
go.
he's in, why can we see him?
Oh god. So Mark Grayson is back. Season 3. Quick turnaround time compared to season 1 and season too. But yeah, he's back. He's got his new suit. More stuff's happening. He's getting bashed up. He's bashing up people. He's stronger. He's getting into fights with Cecil this season. There's stuff going on with Omni-Man and Alan the Alien out in space. There's a giant dragon in one of the episodes. And then, of course, it ends with a massive fight with Jeffrey Dean Morgan beating the shit out of Steven yet again.
Yeah. Yeah, so this season picks off right where the last ended. Mark's back after what he thinks is killing Angstrom Levy.
Yep.
It's not. Nobody ever dies. They always just find a way to come back.
Yeah, somehow.
Somehow.
Because they're...
Because they're what? Nah. Yeah, okay.
I should have had it on the soundboard. Just be like,
press it every single time. That gets so fucking annoying. So this season basically follows Mark maturing again, coming to terms with the fact that maybe he does have to kill some people in order to stop them coming back, which is kind of a dark turn. It's him becoming his father, which is what he doesn't want to do.
And he wears his dark suit for it.
Yeah, because he's all sad now. And also Oliver's growing up.
Yes.
Kid Omni-Man. What else is happening? Debbie's with Paul now. That happens this season. She gets a new boyfriend.
Yeah.
Good character development from all the family. Mark and Cecil have a falling out, which is the start of the season.
Yeah.
Big fallout. That sets up the events of everything to come. So I do have to ask, Bear, are you team Cecil or are you team Mark? And has that changed over the season?
No, not too much. Like, I get both sides. I am, from a human perspective, team Cecil. But he should have burnt that buddy. He should have burnt that body. That's all I'm saying. We'll get to that. That's my one thing. Insane. I was like, you should have fucking burnt that. You should have fucking burnt his body.
Yeah, okay. I've been team Mark day one, so I'm going to have to throw hands with you.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, it's too bad. I'm
dead zombie men that are super powered.
Rihanna men. Yeah. So Cecil's making an army of zombie guys that can come back to life.
Yeah.
A lot of this season, I'm trying to think, not really a lot happens. It's all just building up towards the last 3 episodes of this show where shit kind of just hits the fan. But before we get to those 3 that really matter, also, Omni-Man and Alan are friends now.
Yes,
and what is my favorite side plot in the whole show? It's just Seth Rogen and J.K. Simmons having
just
a laugh
going
as
at it, fighting Viltrumites.
fight Viltrumites in space. That was great. That was good fun. Like every now and then in the show, we would go back to see what they're up to, and they eventually break out and steal a ship.
That's actually one of the higher rated episodes this season. Even though every single episode for this season, everything is above a 7.
That's crazy. Unless you're IGN and you give the finale a 4.
Yeah. the lowest is a 7.4.
That's crazy.
For this season on IMDb.
I think that's deserved. I think this season was amazing.
Yeah.
I think this is better than second season. Yeah, I don't know if it's better than first season. First season's very peak. But that's just because that's such a good, well-rounded story. This is more just building up and continuing it. That happens. That happens when you're continuing a story.
We also had Powerplex was introduced this season.
Yeah, so that is the
Jesse,
kicker
ready to cook.
Of the ending. Powerplex as a character is what's his name? Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul.
He is voicing essentially a guy with lightning powers.
Yep.
Shoots lightning from his body, but he's not that strong, so he gets these technological disky things inserted into him so he can channel it.
Yeah.
Right. So every time he gets hit, he stores up energy and he can burst it out. That's a cool power. It's been done 100 times before. But his whole reasoning, he's a villain. During the fight with Omni-Man, killed his sister and his niece in this big fight. We essentially get the opening to Batman v Superman, showing the Man of Steel fight.
Yeah.
From his perspective, which is cool to see. That's my favorite part of Batman v Superman is that opening 2 minutes and then the rest of the film doesn't exist. But This does it really well. And then essentially that whole episode, so this is the third last episode of the season, is him trying to get to make him pay. And it just keeps backfiring on Powerplex. He's trying to do the right thing, but he is hurting people. He is putting people at danger, and eventually ends up murdering his wife and child accidentally. And then he just goes nuts, blames it all on him.
This is all your fault.
He is PTSD infused, and he's insane. So it's a big shame. This really gets to Mark. This is just affecting him. He's realizing that no matter what he does, people are going to die. People are getting hurt. He can't save everyone. He has to pick and choose his battles, and he needs to protect his family. And it's just all of it is weighing down on Mark. But luckily, he gets a girlfriend this season that's not Amber, because him and Amber broke up last season, and this season he's gotten with Eve. Eve,
which was obviously teased at the end of second season, and everyone knew it was coming because obviously it's the biggest thing in the comics is them being together. So, and
even the people in this show knew it was coming because Rex Explode, one of the most unlikable characters throughout the first 2 seasons of this show, and quickly becoming a fan favorite this season, helps get them together. And then, well, we'll get to that later, because the second last episode of this season is the War.
Yes.
Angstrom Levy's back.
Yep.
Everyone's favorite bald-headed Megamind dude. He's still alive. He's back, and he's even more evil because he's brought 18 marks from across the multiverse to come kick the shit out of some capital cities.
Oh, yeah. They destroy
what were you thinking
everything.
Watching this episode, Barry? Because this one was very much like, oh, shit.
Well, that's the thing, like, because it just comes out of nowhere type thing, because obviously he has his, like, battle with Powerplex, and then the one before that was to do with, the dragon and the prison and everything like that. Is when and Amber then you start the business corporation and stuff like that, trying to get money so they can get their own place. It's still a thing. I remember, like, even
she can
in the
make
comics,
money herself. That's stupid.
And then, like, all of a sudden it's just like, oh yep, the war happening. And I remember, like, because in the comics it felt like it goes on longer than what we see, because it's just in one episode. Which I suppose works because there's so much in the comics and everything like that. And that's the thing. Obviously, like, Powerplex got to have some fun against an evil or Mohawk, which was kind of cool. Like, he's just like, I get to kill you type thing. So he gets to go all out. And then, obviously, Mark has to go around and be like, oh, there's evil versions of myself. I have to, like, kill them type thing. And everyone around him worldwide was dying because of him, essentially.
Yeah. Adding on to what Powerplex was talking about, of just people get hurt because around.
Yep.
Which he can't really control. He can only do the best he can to help people, but it's affecting him a lot because he's thinking, if I stay, people are getting hurt, and if I go, people are getting hurt. Like, it's a very big internal struggle, which is the overarching theme of this season.
Yes.
Of, like, what does it take to actually be a hero and actually save people? And would it be better if there weren't any? It's this whole thing, and I love that. That was great. So war happens. He kicks the shit out of all of them. Ends up sending them back away. Fights Angstrom Levy, but
he does. Yeah,
he sends them away because they turn on him. And then Levy gets beaten up a bit, and then escapes. It's a huge shame. Fights him. He nearly overpowers him, but he gets away at the last minute. He loses a hand, though.
Loses a hand.
But that doesn't affect him because he's got, like, weird robot servants that can build him back to life.
That he now serves them.
Kind of. Yeah, they got a weird relationship.
Yeah,
just
and
go
they
to another
come
universe,
back
right?
to kind of hit them in the ass later on. That's going to be a whole thing.
Oh, I'm sure. You should not be helping that guy. That guy's insane. Yeah. So this is a very, like, long week for him. All of this happens basically back to back. Yeah, so during the aftermath of the war, he's helping rebuild cities, he's helping clear rubble, help people out. Kid Omni-Man, Oliver's there as well. When another Viltrumite shows up, you may remember him, Conquest.
Woo!
Unless you're IGN and you think he's never been shown before,
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just gonna shit talk their review.
Worm.
Yeah. So that's where the end of the second last episode finishes up and the final episode begins, because
Yeah.
last episode is 40 minutes of Mark getting the shit kicked out of him by Mr. Mustache Man Conquest. And holy moly, this is a hell of an ending. Very.
Oh yeah, there's so much going on in this episode. Well, this episode alone, obviously, majority of it is the fight between him and Conquest, which the actual title for this, but I thought it was kind of funny. I Thought You'd Never Shut Up is the title for that episode. And it was just so cool as well, because we knew this was coming, and everyone that's watched like Walking Dead and everything like that, it's Negan versus his character from The Walking Dead again, was Stephen Yeun versus thingy. And so far, like, yeah, this has to be one of the best episodes by far, if not, well, according to IMDb, it is one of the highest rated episodes in TV history. Currently, right now, it is sitting on a 9.9 out of 10 with over 62,000 reviews.
What? Wow.
Yeah,
that's
and
mental.
it's so funny because I was looking at how many people reviewed all the other episodes, and it's around like 10K for all the other episodes and everything like that. But for this one, it's like 62,000 people have rated this episode.
That's crazy. That's a 9.9.
Yeah,
that's insane numbers. 4 out of 10, not a 4 out of 10, you reckon?
Yeah.
IGN,
IGN gave it a 4 out of 10. That's why.
Just the last episode. 4 out of 10. They said Conquest has never been seen before, and that there's no character development during this episode. That was their reason.
They don't know anything.
They didn't watch the episode.
I gave up on IGN like years ago.
No, I laugh at it every time. It's fucking hilarious. They're such a stupid company. Probably shouldn't say that. Technically, we're competitors.
They're coming for you,
I guess.
Now.
No, they're gonna give me a terrible review.
Oh no.
No, so yeah, this episode is just an insane punch fest. Essentially leading to Adam Eve dying, and leading to Mark just beating the shit out of Conquest until Eve wakes up with his face. He had feet that worked, but he's like, "No, I'm gonna headbutt this guy."
No, because remember his leg was broken as well. Because
but he had another leg. He can fly.
Yeah, but
he had
still,
one good leg.
He was fucked up. And then he's like, "I'm using my head."
Yeah, which I think was brutal, and it showed his state of mind. No, I agree. I just like he does have a good leg that he could be using, but it's fine. That's not a critique. That's just whatever. And then Eve wakes up in some kind of like phoenix state, blasts Conquest, like is alive. She rebuilt herself. I don't know. She's got weird matter manipulation powers, so she can technically do anything.
Yeah, she can.
Which is crazy and scary, because I'm surprised Cecil has not tried to capitalize on this.
Well, that's the thing, because like they do mention it like briefly after like the last 5 minutes.
It's mental blockers stopping her from messing with like organic material, but
which
even
is now unlocked, because since she died, she can now access them, because in the comics from this point onwards, she does some pretty wacky stuff.
Oh, I can tell. She's going to be insane from here on out. Because after this, we see her powers starting to act a little bit strange. She uses her...
Not because of that.
That's different? Oh.
That's different. That's a different reason.
No,
that's a comic book
I have
reason.
not read the comics. Have you read the comics?
I've read the comics, yeah.
Okay, so you know what's happening.
Like,
I don't know what's happening.
Before the show came out, I was like, oh, these are
wow,
actually
you're
really
old.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
No. So Eve uses her powers to go whoa, 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 and remove both of their clothing, and then when we see their clothing on the floor, it's like, oh, it's all melty and goopy and like turning to the ooze, and I'm like, ooh, that doesn't look good. I don't need to know what happens to know that that's not a good sign.
Yeah. And then also as well, this season Rex died, so now Robot's like, I'm the new Rex. Which...
that's okay. So let's talk about that, because Rex does the whole Gambit X-Men '97 thing.
Gambit did it better. I'm sorry. I like, even though this was cool and everything like that, Gambit did it better.
He did this in the comics first. The Gambit one was better, but that's not important, because Rex had become quite a likable character throughout this
Yeah.
season, especially.
Yeah.
I liked him. I loved his relationship with the shrinking girl. I can't
Yes.
remember her name. But that was really cool. That's something that's not in the comics because that shrinking
Yeah.
character is a dude in the comics.
Yep.
So they don't have a relationship. But this was really cool, and I loved that added thing.
Yeah.
Because it just made him a little bit more human before they decided to kill him off, right as he was becoming a good person.
Yep. Which is bound to happen. And that's how you do proper good writing, people.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, totally.
Yeah.
So he dies. He sets his own skeleton to explode to take out one of the marks. Saves Robot, saves the green lady.
Monster Girl.
Monster Girl, that's right. And also Bulletproof, I think his name
Yep.
is. I always forget him
He
because he doesn't
becomes
do
Mark
much.
at one point as well.
That's
That's
right.
a whole weird thing.
Don't talk about it. That's later. That's weird. Yeah. So Rex dies. Robot takes his name on because technically he's a clone of his body or something. It's weird.
Yep.
I don't know. That's wacky. What else happens? Oh yeah. So Conquest is dead, but not really because
Yeah.
Cecil takes his body and puts it in
Yep.
a prison cell, straps him up.
Well, that's the thing,
Like, he
because it's
wakes
one of
up
the
and
first
twitches at the block.
things, yeah, that Mark like wakes up straight away, and then he's like, "Where's the body?" Like, Cecil,
Burn
where
the body.
the fuck's the body? And then he goes to
Yeah.
see it, type thing. And then like, because I knew this moment was coming because of the comics and stuff like that. This is the one thing I like, because even I forgot we didn't mention in this season they kind of give Cecil a backstory. We have like half an episode
They
where we see
do.
him as a young agent
Yeah.
and everything like that, which is really cool. Because I really do like Cecil's character and like what he stands for and everything like that. But it's still just at times, man, you're just like, fuck, he's the most evil character in this show.
Yeah. No. So he does
So-
not burn the body.
No.
At Mark's request. He keeps it hidden. And he's definitely going to wake up again. Conquest is just going to come back. That's the stupidest thing ever. And they plan on that because Cecil's like, hey, when he comes back, we're just going to ask him a bunch of questions in how to beat the Viltrumites. And I'm like, you're an idiot. Why are you doing? Oh, okay. So yeah,
Yep.
that's essentially how this season ends.
Yeah.
Eve's powers are going weird. Conquest is still alive. Levy's still
the-
alive.
Devilman's coming back. Hellboy.
Oh,
I forget his name.
Devilman. That's something that's not in the comics too.
No,
I heard
that is not.
Is
That is not.
This is new. This is
Yes.
completely new territory now because the devil and also someone bigger in their side of things
Yep,
is coming
this
back.
is completely new. This is something that
Completely new.
Robert Kirkman's like written just for the show.
Which is crazy, and I love
Yeah.
it. It's so cool. It's unique.
Yeah.
It's keeping you on your toes because you know what happens.
Yeah. Well, that's, and there's already like there's like a number of things with the story and stuff like that, even for this season. Because it's been such a long time since I've read the comics. But like
No, yeah,
it
yeah.
is like it's almost like an alternate reality of the comics where some stuff is similar type thing, like majority
yeah.
of it, but there are like a few small things that they do change around and do add it and like change it, and it's like obviously understandable to be able to do it like animation format because that's the same type of thing they're planning to do with the video game and the movie because they're still planning to do a live action movie.
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, Damien Darkblood is coming back later down
Yeah,
the line.
Clancy Brown.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Krabs. Yeah. Okay. So I think final thoughts and ratings. Season 3. Barry, what are you sitting on for this season specifically? And where does it rank amongst the other two seasons?
I still think season 1 is still the best. Just the way like that was all done and portrayed and everything like that, and the story for that is kind of just perfect alone. And still that final, even though the conquest and well, it's kind of cool. That's still the first fight between Omni-Man and between father and son. That whole thing was just so amazing. I'm sorry, and there is quite a few problems, and you can clearly see it with this season. There's a lot of animation issues and stuff like that where they like cut the budget a bit and stuff like that. But majority of the time though, like I was fine with it because like story for me is like always what matters with everything. And it was just like the story was like really well done. So I'm going to give this, what would I give season 1? I give this an 8. 8.5. 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah. Because yeah, I would probably give season 1 like a 9.5. And then there's like, yeah, so then I'll put this below that and then season 2 below that. But I am looking forward now to obviously season 4, which is coming out next year. They are on
On
a
its way.
yearly cycle now, and everything like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Robert Kirkman did say that, which is good. And like, I already know what's coming, and I'm just like, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to see the animation version of what's coming, and
Very
everything
cool.
like that. So
Yeah. I think I'm sitting on a 9 out of 10.
yeah,
For this season. I think, yeah, I agree with you. It's not as good as the first season. I think first season, 9.5, 9 point whatever.
Yep.
Second season's probably on par with this because I enjoyed every episode. I'm in love with these characters and this world and just the story. I don't think there's been a bad episode of Invincible the whole way through. I was also
No.
fine with the 6-week break. Like I was in the whole way through. The animation in
Yeah.
this season, I was fine with 100%. None of that was affecting me. There's like a single frame where Mark's arm is missing or something. I'm like, I don't care. This is great. So yeah, 9 out of 10. Insane storytelling. Like it's weird to think, considering that this is just essentially like a boys style parody of superheroes in a way.
yeah.
That it also sits
really
on
is.
its own so well.
Yep.
Like it just stands out on its own as this full world. And perfectly, and I love it, and I
Yeah.
love Mark as one of my favorite superheroes now, which is insane to think of because he's
Yeah.
kind of in his own little area.
Yep. Yeah, and just
Right?
like the comeback for like a lot of these characters and stuff like that is like amazing, and even compared to the comics and everything like that. And I think I said this, but we were talking about season 2 last year. I was like, the story and what they're doing with these characters in the show compared to the comics is way more better than what they did for the comics.
Yeah,
Because even in the comics, it goes like obviously quite into detail into a few things and stuff like that, but it didn't feel like you had really an attachment to any of the characters.
it wasn't as
type thing.
impactful.
Wasn't as impactful type thing.
Yeah.
Where with the show, it was actually like, oh, they've changed the story enough where you actually do feel like impacted by what's happening and everything like that.
Yeah,
and maybe
I know, I
it's just
agree.
because it is an actual like animated thing and everything like that. Because obviously
The
I'm a more
performances
visual person.
help.
Yeah.
Definitely help. The people bring these characters to life in such an amazing way. All of the voice talent is stellar. So that definitely helps a lot.
Yep. And that's the thing, adding Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Conquest was just like amazing.
He was good.
The biggest thing is though, right? Now is obviously there is another Viltrumite that is going to be coming in later seasons. I don't know if you know about him or anything like that.
Is this Thrag, the
Freddie
general?
Mercury
Yeah, Freddie Mercury. So I've seen images.
is
I see-
who is
yeah.
going to voice Thrag.
Oh, do we know? Or is
No, they
we
have
don't
not
know.
announced anything yet.
Ooh,
But
who do you think?
one rumor I've seen on the internet a few times now, and which I'm all for doing this, is John Berthel.
Yeah, that makes sense. They're getting all the
Yeah.
Walking Dead guys.
Yeah, yeah. Get the Punisher,
Yeah, I can
man.
see that.
Because
Yeah, well, he showed up in this week's Daredevil.
Daredevil episode. I'm
And
just
he
like,
killed it.
fucking get him. Get him.
I love
he
it.
He is one of the most underrated working actors at this point in time. I love him in every single thing that he does, even if it's the smallest role. I'm just like, get him to voice Thrag.
I don't know if he's underrated. He's very good at what he does.
Yeah.
He feels very one note with a lot of his characters.
But it
To
just
me,
works.
at least
it just works.
He plays this one guy, this one type of guy really well. So yeah, sure,
Oh.
give him the evil dude. Give him the
Also
evil
as
Viltrumite.
well, I'm just looking at the IMDb cast list for this episode. So the demon at the end with the Damien Darkblood and stuff like that, he was voiced by none other than Bruce Campbell.
That was Bruce Campbell,
That was Bruce Campbell.
the little dude.
Yep, the demon.
What? Have we seen that little dude before? Because I don't think we have.
This is a brand new, not even the comics.
I love that Bruce Campbell is a demon. That's amazing.
Yep.
Oh my god! All right, so I guess wherever we wait for season 4, we'll cover it. Did we cover season 2 on the show?
Yeah, we covered season 2.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, not the first one. The first one was before. All right, I think that is it for that segment, Barry.
That is it for that segment. Now it's on to the great quiz note showtime of the night podcast session where I get to say basically really bad description on movies, and then Clayton and the audience have to guess them. So audience, let me know how you do down below in the comments, because you know it's Clayton didn't do well. Last week you did pretty good.
I've never got one wrong.
Good. The week before that was really bad. That was really
I've
bad.
never
But I
got
gave you
any
a lot
wrong.
of hints last week. I
Now what are you talking
got
about?
told that. I got told I gave you a lot of hints, and now this
Who
week,
said that? I'll find him.
you're not gonna get anything. So I'm gonna start hopefully from easiest
no
to
hints?
hardest. No hints.
I don't get any hints.
You don't get
I
any
gotta
hints.
guess the movie without any hints. Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, number one, a pale guy
pianist.
stalks a high school and convinces her that dating a dead guy is a good idea.
A pale guy stalks a high schooler. I'm guessing that this is a Robert Pattinson film.
Yeah, they're all Robert
related
Pattinson films.
'cause-
I give you that.
Oh, so you are giving me hints. You lied. You lied to me. This is Twilight.
Yeah, that's
Um,
Twilight. Oh, where's the buzzer?
I don't
There
remember
we
what each
go.
of them are called. So I'm just the Twilight
Yeah.
series.
This is Twilight. All right.
Breaking Dawn Part 2.
I don't care. I don't remember. They're probably going to reboot it soon, just like Harry Potter. A sad
Wow.
wizard gets bullied by a cup and then immediately dies.
Yeah, that is Harry Potter. Which
You
one
remember
is
which
it?
Harry Potter?
It's the one with the gauntlet of gauntlet of
Oh,
fire. What's the
that's
gauntlet
fucking
one? They go
close.
for the cop. I'm trying to think. It's like the
You
fifth
got Harry
movie.
Potter. The fourth one, but you know.
Fourth one is after. It's after Azkaban, which is the
Yeah.
third one. Yeah. Like, what's it?
All right, on to the next one. Come on. We've got
You gonna
too
tell me
many.
what it is?
Let's go. No, you said it. Harry Potter. Harry Potter, the
All
Goblet
right,
of
fuck it.
Fire. It's that one.
That's right.
Two
Goblet of
lighthouse
Fire, close
keepers slowly lose their minds and start having beef with a seagull.
Wow, I wonder what this one is. God, they're at a lighthouse. It's the lighthouse.
See, I told you they're easy this week. So I didn't give you
Yeah,
hints.
you're naming them in the thing. What do you expect? Those guys at a lighthouse. It's called the lighthouse. Like, all right.
A rich guy puts on a costume.
That's Batman.
All right, a guy learns that time travel is confusing.
Tenet. It's not confusing. It's a good movie. People hate on it. It's one of my favorite Nolans, and people shit on it
A
all the time.
guy
and I'm
just
sick
wants
of
to
it.
rob a bank, but his brother ruins everything.
That sounds like a bad time, but watching it is a good time. Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah. Astronaut dad takes his kid on a trip to space and realizes that parenting is hard.
What? It's that other one.
I wonder if you know this one. This is one of his lesser known films.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking on it, and I'm blanking. What year did this one come out?
2015?
Yeah.
2018, sorry.
Astronaut. 2018.
2018.
That's right. No, I'm gonna need a clue.
Also starring Mia Goth.
Man,
Set in space. It's
it's like a Passengers sort of funky ride
all right.
thing.
That was High Life.
Nah, I don't know. I've never seen
Yeah.
it.
A
Son of a
man
bitch.
joins a group of criminals, but none of them are stylish as him.
Stylish as him.
Yeah, this is a really bad description if I'm being honest. Think
Okay.
old timey. Think like medieval period.
That
That kind of gave it away, if I'm being honest. But I don't know if you've actually watched it or not.
I might not have seen it. I probably
Yeah.
will get it when you tell me. No, I'm
it
gonna have to pass.
is The King.
It's the King. I got it.
King.
See?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so good at
An explorer
seen it.
goes to the jungle and realizes that being an adventurer kind of sucks.
That's so real. What's
Yeah.
it called? I forget what it's
Also
called.
starring Tom Holland
Uh,
and the guy from Sons of Anarchy. I forget his name, but he also did King Arthur.
yeah, I can't remember his name either. Lost. What was it?
Oh, he's getting there. He's thinking about it.
I remember we talked about this before, and I forget. the
Yeah,
name of
I
'cause
said it
it's-
literally like
it's
40 minutes
weird.
ago.
Oh, Lost City of Z.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there we
that's
go.
Another one that I think I saw, but I could not
Yeah.
tell you anything that happens in
Kind
it.
of a groovy because it's based on true events, like based on actually
Is
real
it?
people. Yeah,
I don't remember anything that happens. I can't
Kind of
speak
insane.
on that.
And then like
Okay.
because he's like the helper, the friend or whatever that they both go for, and then like
Yeah.
he's like, I don't want to do it anymore. And then Tom Holland's like the son of the main guy, and he's like, I'll come with you. And then they went to go
That's
in there and they
right.
found cannibals, and supposedly they just died or lived with the
I don't
cannibals.
know,
It's
man.
kind of unreal. Last one, for all the bangs, for all the money, for all the points. A detective investigates a murder, but the real mystery is why everyone in town is so weird.
Murder mystery. What, mystery? With Pattinson. Oh,
This is a film I think you might not have seen.
Everyone's so weird.
Yeah.
I was thinking it might be the devil all the time, but he's not a detective in that.
No.
He's a priest. That's definitely a weird town. No, I might have to
Came out
pass
in
on this one too.
2012.
I'm 12.
So this was like straight after.
Straight
around
after
the same time as
Twilight.
Twilight.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah. This is Cosmopolis. Cosmopolis.
Cosmopolis? I've
Yeah.
never heard of it. I've
Yeah,
never heard
it's
of it.
like
Have you seen it?
half a rating. I saw it when it first came out. I remember it briefly. Has Paul Giamatti in it as well, and like
okay.
Jay Pichel and stuff like that. It's not a great film. Like I probably wouldn't recommend watching it. Type thing. It is very unique, very wacky type thing. David Cronenberg film.
Really? It's a Cronenberg film?
Yeah.
Is it full of like blood and guts and gore?
No, not really.
Oh, that's all he does, right? That's all he should be doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But that's
I did
it.
really
That's the
well
quiz.
that time. I
You
passed.
did.
I got none wrong. Once again, another flawless week.
You
Everybody,
got
thanks for coming in.
40%
Ignore Barry.
wrong.
You can find us all on the social medias.
I haven't pressed the outro
Follow
button
us
yet.
on things.
It doesn't end until I press the outro button. Even
Why are
though
you in charge of that
shit?
I can just cut this. I'll cut you out of the podcast.
That's not how it works, buddy. There
Tell
we
your
go.
friends about us.
Yeah, tell your friends. Go. What are your
Tell your
thoughts
parents.
on Mickey17? If you have seen it, leave it down in the comments. Make sure to follow us on all the social medias, all those places and stuff like that. And thanks for watching and playing along at home. Good night.
And let us know if you like bread, because I like bread. Don't worry about that. Just ignore that.